Gmail. Selected.
Okay,
Microphone. Button. Microphone. On.
Why is this recording this through AirPlay?
Everything. Screen.
I'm about
Accessory. Wi-Fi. Blue. AirPlay audio.
I'm about
AirPlay.
AirPlay audio
iPhone.
to
iPhone. Not play. 0%. Mod pre-play. Next. Select volume.
iPhone.
Set. Selected. 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 iPhone.
What?
Select.
How is this set up?
Safari. App. iPhone. Voice. Safari. Voice. Close. Voice. Closing voice changer. App switcher.
Wait a moment.
Doc. Message. Page 1 of 7. And
Hold on.
Page. Voice changer with effects. Drag.
Wait, no, stop.
Voice. This head contain braille screen. E. Voice clock. Voice memo. Voice change. Voice change. Opening voice change. 32. Hit. Rack. Live off. Voice. Live off 200. Live on 240.
Okay, so I'm gonna be trying this again.
Voice. Live on 200.
Okay. Let me see if it works.
Voice.
Okay, it works on mine. Now, reason I am doing this video here is because you know how iOS has, like Android, well, almost completely like Android, now has about 3 TTS engines now. One that is not even going to update their voices for English or Russian or Georgian or Tatar or Russian or Ukrainian. Yup, you heard right. That synthesizer that I'm talking about is IH Voice. Yes, I did do a video on that one. Now, back on topic. So Deck Talk is getting more synthesizers for iOS. Deck Talk is probably going to be one of them soon. It's going to apply to Android also. I think. I might be wrong. I mean, because like...
Back button, home button,
I mean, like you can see here that...
labels. Prediction stems from 1 to 3. Index of phone tones unset. 14,000. Index of phone. Catherine Del. GPS. M&T.
Stop.
Chilean Med.
Stop.
Lamotrigine.
Stop.
Dominoes.
And...
Aphasia.
And...
Beachwear.
And...
Aphasia.
And...
LG.
Oh, stupid. Oh, that's it.
N V V V G H H H S E S S F S E F E E W E T spacebar C G N A deck to text box. Search deck talk for iOS and voiceover. Bottom. Can you change the voice on your iPad? Bottom. Welcome to Cheese Hewer Screen Reader.
None. But tips. You can practice singing. Voice. Original. Button. Button. But live. Tab. Equalizer. Tab. 2 of 4.
Wait, stop. Go.
Voiceover off.
I did not say... Oh, this is some kind of glitch.
Voiceover on.
This is some
Home.
glitch. I see.
Control set. Blue. AirPlay audio. But. iPhone. Minus. Preview. Play. Select. Volume. Select. Speaker. Speaker. Pending. Speaker. Pending. Speaker. Speaker. Pending. Speaker.
Oh, why is this
Speaker.
thing not
Pending.
working?
Speaker. Speaker.
I needed
Speaker.
to go.
Selected. Selected. Speaker. Speaker.
Oh,
Pending.
please
Speaker.
go.
Speaker.
Stop.
Speaker.
You're
Speaker.
going to make...
Speaker.
Oh, I see. I need to close this.
Close. Voice changer. Focus. Accept. Open.
And then it'll work.
AirPlay audio. AirPlay audio. 0 minus preview. Next. Select. Speaker. Speaker.
There you go.
Select
Now,
accessory. Hit sounds. Media controls. Disc. Verb. Headpins. Braille screen input. E. Voice changer. Voice changer. Opening voice. Port. Third voice. Reverb. None. Voice.
Discover.
Pitch on 2. Replay. Live off 2. Live on 240.
now about the Deck Talk text-to-speech with the iOS. So,
Search selected. Collections buttoned up. Go to discover. Signed in as Kenny A. Kemisogi.
Voiceover off.
Shop. Images lit. Find. Or. Feed. Tools. Web result. The Plebis https://www.plebis.com forum third-party speech synthesizers coming to macOS, iOS, and tvOS. Link. Chrome. First tab button double. Third-party speech synthesizers. By Zachary, the 20th of forum. iOS and Hi all. I'm sure some of you may have already seen this announcement on Twitter, but Apple is rolling out an API for third-party speech synthesizers to be used with accessibility features on their platforms. Known as the Speech Synthesis Provider Audio Unit, this should be coming out in the initial releases of iOS 16, macOS 13, and tvOS 16. Hopefully companies will get on board pretty soon. Here's a link to the developer documentation for anyone wanting to take a look, and please let me know your thoughts and which voices you would like to see. https://developer.apple.com/documentation/app/audio/speech synthesis provider audio unit link. Options heading 2. Login link. Or. Register. Comment. To post comments. As good as this sounds, heading 3 link. By. Cool 10 months 4. As good as this sounds, until we actually see results, there's no point getting excited. Until we actually see third-party synthesizers to download, then, and only then would be the time to get excited. You know, when Eloquence came out of nowhere, that's the sort of thing I like to see. None of this hyping up business. Interesting heading 3 link. By. 10 months 4. While this is great news, I'm with it too. I don't want to get my hopes up until I see the results and this happen. I heard you can use it to create your own TTS voice heading 3 link. By. KEAU. 10 months 4. Hi, I heard that you can use this to create a TTS version of your own voice. If I'm able to figure out how it works, I plan to make one. I've always been curious what mine would sound like. Listening to myself would be heading 3 link. By. Is interesting though. Listening to myself would be utterly dreadful. Is interesting though. I wonder where Apple is planning on taking this. Avatar-based systems for the upcoming AR device maybe. Not sure. Is interesting though. I wonder where Apple is planning on taking this. Avatar-based systems for the upcoming AR device maybe. Not sure if there would be a great deal of benefit, but I'm sure there could be some interesting applications for customized scenes. 7:45 p.m. Is Sarah by Trenton Matt. Seroproc heading 3 link. Considering you can get Seroproc voices for only 99 United States cents on Google Play. HTTP. I'd love for that voice company to show up on iOS devices. Especially since y'all can already get them on macOS, and Windows of course, though the Macwin versions are $29.57 US.
What? US $29.5 US dollars? That is too much.
10 months, 4 weeks of. This is very interesting. However, I am with the others. As exciting as it is, I don't want to get excited. However, I would love to see some really old voices not just for Mac, but other synthesizers as well. And the reason I say that is simply for nostalgia. Soft voice would be one of the synthesizers I would love to see. Some of the voices from them could be just under the novelty section, such as Colossus, Fly, Munchkin and all that other sort of stuff. I would also love to see Deck Talk added to it. I know a lot of people these days would prefer synthesizers with mostly natural sounding voices, but I kind of like some of the other robotic ones for nostalgic purposes.
Okay, now about soft voice. Soft voice is like Microsoft Talking. Now, Microsoft Talking is based off of Windows, so I guess that is only gonna be on Windows. If not, with soft voice come on iOS. If they're gonna be in the novelty section with cellos and bubbles and bells and so on. So I don't know how you're gonna get those voices in the novelty section, but you will. Possibly. Knowing you, they will probably add big robots and small robots. I don't know what the other. I think it was Little Robot. Robotoid. That's what it was. I think it was a small one. Okay. Oh Lord.
By Amir. 10 months forward. Graphic. If VoiceOver can use SPEAK via this approach, a very good number of languages will be supported. Moreover, as natural as the new Persian Darish voice in iOS 16 sounds, it has awful intonation and pronunciation issues, though they are not related to Apple. SPEAK, as robotic and mechanical as it sounds, supports languages like Persian more satisfactorily.
Now about eSpeak, they don't even pause. They pause like they're pausing in between a sentence when they put periods instead of sounding like they're finishing the sentence. It sounds like they're pausing in between a sentence. Like not with how the commas respond to it. The periods respond to it like a comma, but like continuing on with the voice.
10 months 4. I'd like to have a voice that, instead of being built to sound natural, is built for high-speed conveyance of information. Not sure what form it would take, but there seems to be an obsession with making voices sound real, so it would be interesting to hear what study-supported voices could allow for very high speed without data loss. Oh wow. Limitless possibilities heading 3 link. 10 months 4. I mean, if this really works, there is absolutely nothing to stop people from porting SPEAK. SPEAK is open source, so it is super doable. MSC. 10 months 4. This almost certainly means that SPEAK will be available on Apple platforms, which is great news. Since SPeak is open source, even if the SPeak developers do not choose to make an iOS version of it with this new API, anyone who wants to and has the required skills could do it. If the SPeak NG fork is used and the Sonic audio library is included, there is no maximum limit for speech rate, and I have been able to understand it at 900 words per minute, so it would be a great synthesizer for Voice Dream Reader or other apps that read ebooks using text-to-speech. But, check over, 10 months for... Quite honestly, at that point it may be feasible to collect... Quite honestly, at that point it may be feasible to collect money from the community to hire a Fiverr developer to do this, haha.
What? What? Hold on, let me read that again.
Quite honestly, at that point it may be feasible to collect money from the community to hire a Fiverr developer to do this, haha.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Quite honestly, at that point it may be feasible to collect money from the community to hire a Fiverr...
Honestly, it would be feasible to collect money from to have a Fiverr developer do this, huh? Fiverr developers cannot do that at all.
10 months for... Here is a GitHub issue link. Someone created in the SPeak-NG repository a few days ago about this. No one has responded yet, but hopefully this should help to start the process. Are you sure that this new heading 3 link... Why? 10 months for... Are you sure that this new... Someone created in the SPeak-NG repository a few days ago about this. No one has responded yet, but hopefully this should help to start the process. 10 months for... Are you sure that this new API is indeed for providing speech synthesizers? I cannot find any reference in the developer docs that implies that. Manuel. 10 months for... Regarding to my previous post, for me, it seems that this new API can only provide speech synthesis for received text. You can create a new voice instance. There any reference. Clarification on speech synthesis provider heading 3 link. Why? 10 months 3 weeks ago. Yes, this API is intended for developers to create new speech synthesizers. This is distinct from AV Speech Synthesizer, which from what I understand is for use with apps that utilize TTS to read content. Speech Synthesis Provider is providing synthesizers to the system for use with AV Speech Synthesizer. This is based on audio unit extensions, which were originally designed to be used with audio software such as Logic Pro and GarageBand to add third-party effects and instruments to these applications, but make them available system-wide so that the same plugins could be used across different software. This is a similar concept, except the audio unit in question is a speech synthesizer providing voices to the OS, and intent to all apps using the speech synthesis framework, such as VoiceOver and Speak Selection. The guy that originally tweeted about this was involved in its development when working at Apple, and has confirmed that this is the intended use for this new API. For anyone who is interested, there is a template in the latest feature of Xcode that will allow you to get started with Speech Synthesis Provider. I would encourage anyone who is able to take a look and maybe attempt to port something open source to make sure this is working as intended, as I'm sure there are problems that need to be corrected. I have a feeling that Eloquence was implemented using this API, although of course I have no concrete data on this. Please let me know if you have any further questions. Main. 10 Oh well, since we are putting our wish voices here, heading 3 link. Bye. Sock Singer. 10 months 3 weeks. I'd be very happy with a Katie Morgan or Natalie Portman voice. Smiley face.
I think you're referring to Neo Speech.
However, since neither of those are likely possibilities a bloke can dream, I'd love for the new speech voices to port over. I don't think they get enough credit for being excellent quality. Canute. 10 months 3 weeks. How would these new third-party voices be distributed? Through the App Store. Furthermore, the possibility of creating new speech syntheses based on your own voice should be accessible via the user interface, just as you train your iPhone, iPad, Mac to recognize the voice for Hey Siri. Why Apple doesn't create a user interface in which VoiceOver guides you in reading sentences, thus generating a neural voice based on your voice. Check over. 10 months 3. First, I am glad for that clarification. I spent 5 minutes looking at the devs docs but didn't really take much in lol. Second, maybe that's the next step, being able to make your own voice. Smiley face. Personally, I can't see myself doing it, but... Afrikaans for the Tetris mod. 10 months 3. Hi guys, this is absolutely fantastic news. Maybe this will finally allow us to get an Afrikaans voice. As long as it's not SPeak, I'm good. Bye. Check over. 10 months 3. Honestly, your best bet for an Afrikaans voice would be to talk to the QFNC people. Not that that voice is particularly amazing, but it's better than SPeak, haha. Soft voice heading 3. Bye. Eki. 10 months 3 week. At Exodia, I vaguely remember soft voice. Never used it, but Patrick Perdue had his drunk Willow on. Don't know if that's still available. Rather than new voices, nicer this is, I'd rather there was a way to fix the bugs in VoiceOver, or for third parties to write new screen readers which can make a better job of accessing the internet, etc., and can be updated with useful and time-saving features.
Right, new screen readers. There is no other screen reader on iOS than Voice.
Rather than new voices, nice though this is, I'd rather that... Jaws for Mac. Jaws for Mac would be... Since it is now possible to, heading 3 link. Bye. 10 months 1. Since it is now possible to use third-party synthesizers, I hope that Acapella Voices will be available on iOS.
Only thing that's gonna be available on is Blind Square. I don't think it's gonna be available on iOS, but
1. Joshua. 10. It would be nice if I could install the TalkBack screen reader on iOS. The Pandos would... 2.
this can only be compatible with Android. Okay, that's it for that one. How can you install an Android screen reader on an iOS compatible device? Anyway, yeah, that's it for me.